Hey, it's Tara with Reiki on the Run, and I want to talk today about 5 ways that you can find joy in everything. If you've listened to me for a while, you hear me talk about finding joy in everyday life, and I'm going to talk about how to do that. But first, I just want to say hi. I've been gone for a while, and I appreciate everyone who sends me messages and reaches out. I'm thinking about you guys too, wondering how you're doing. I was in the States for a while, and it takes me a while to get back in the groove when I get back, and I've been doing things. And anyway, on to the joy. So, understanding that we attract like energy that we put out, the best thing we can do to get the things we want in life is to experience joy, because the things that we want in life, ultimately, we want them because we think that we're going to experience joy and happiness and all that if we get them. So instead of, focusing and trying to manifest specific things, if you can just get in the energy of joy, more things will come to you because you'll be practicing the energy. That's what you're emitting. That's what's coming back. So let's talk about 5 ways, simple ways. These are not big things. Sometimes, when you want something big, say you want a relationship or a new job, or you can't really think about that thing and be in joy to bring it to you. So you can just focus on other things. If you can find other things to be joyful about, it'll have the same effect. So these are easy ways that you can get yourself into joy. The first one is paying attention to skilled people, like not necessarily famous, skilled athletes or things like that, but in your everyday life. I can think of here where I live in Mexico, there are a lot of entertainers that will go out and dance for tips on the side of restaurants and things. And if you actually pay attention to them and don't just ignore what they're doing because you don't want to give them money or something. I mean, you see these guys like dancing, break dancing, and on concrete, like running and jumping over 3 people while flipping. And if you really pay attention to that for a few minutes and appreciate the time and effort that they've put into doing that and how hard it would be and how you wouldn't be able to do it, it can really bring you joy. It brings me joy to watch. It's the same with musicians, people who have practiced their skill and they make it effortless. They just make it seem easy. Dancers. There are some guys here who do wheelies a lot, kids, teenagers, young guys. And I saw one day one guy going up this pedestrian bridge on a wheelie, and this bridge has these little divots, and they're hard to even walk on. And he's on a bike, a mountain bike, doing a wheelie, riding up the hill. And I just took the time to appreciate that he could do something like that. I at this point, I haven't ridden a bike in so long. It would probably be funny just watching me ride a bike at this point. But to do a wheelie up a hill with little jacked up ground, it was really, really impressive. And so that's just easy ways that you can pay attention to some of the things around you and find some joy in it. It's literally like a stop and smell the roses kind of thing, appreciate the things around you, and skill is one of them. The next one is having a child's view. I walk down the beach every day. Well, I try to go every day, usually every day. And I get to see, a lot of people who, and I have for years, I've lived in beach locations, and I get to see people who this might be the only time they've ever come to the beach. And you definitely see kids who have never seen beach stuff for the first time. And it's really, really amazing. I was watching a kid the other day. There was a pelican who was swooping down and eating. If you've ever seen them, they go up real high and they just dive straight down into the water and hopefully get their fish. And this kid was just cracking up. He would watch the pelican dive, and as soon as the pelican would dive, he'd turn to his parents and he's just dying laughing. And I was actually on a boat the other day and saw the same thing through my own eyes, but was able to appreciate that and take the moment. And it was this seagull looking thing, and he kept diving in the water, and then he would come out and he would pass the boat, and then he would come back and he would dive back in the water and come up and pass the boat. And it was just so fun to watch. And if you can take a child's viewpoint and remember to like the little things. There was another time where I was driving down the street, and there were these three kids outside playing with boxes, like the lips, the part that you fold in on a box, a cardboard box, and it was just these little squares or rectangles or whatever, and they would jump up on the curb, and they were probably like 6, 7, 8 years old, and they would all hold their lid up, and they'd let go, and it would kind of fly like an airplane, and whichever one went the farthest was the winner, and they would jump up and down and get all excited and run out and grab their little box and do it again. And that's just a reminder to try to find joy in the simple things, you know. Have fun with nature, have fun with what's in front of you. You don't have to wait until you get the fancy toy. You don't have to wait till you have the best thing, you know. Just take that. If you've had kids, you know that feeling of you, because you kind of relive everything. Or maybe you have nieces or nephews, or you've spent some time around someone else's child, and you understand that they're discovering everything for the first time, and it's so amazing. And to you, like a train on the tracks is annoying, and it's keeping you from getting where you want to go. But to a kid, it's like, wow, look at all the cars, look at the graffiti, look at, you know, and just reminding yourself to take that child's viewpoint and everything can really be vibration changing, and that's what you want. And so if you can sit there and bask in the awesomeness of trains, do that. We have fireworks go off every night, a couple times a night here where I live, and anytime they go off, I stop and I watch them, and I stand there in awe, and I think that they're beautiful. And it's just taking the time to appreciate those things that you might have appreciated when you were a child. The next one is to admire beauty. This can mean a lot of things. You know, obviously, when you see something like the ocean and all its vastness, it's amazing. You don't really know how it works, where it stops. It's so vast, it's so large, it's so huge, and the waves and the sea, you can't control that, and it's just such an awe-inspiring thing when you really think about, you know, how amazing it is and how out of your control it is. And it's taking the time to admire things like that. If you're into art, I'm always amazed. I'm not really into art, but I am amazed. I can't appreciate when I look at something and someone has this talent to put something on paper that I can't do, and I can take the time to admire that. So another one is beauty in other people. Now, I don't want anybody to get in trouble. Don't, you know, look at other women when your wife is standing next to you. It's not that kind of thing. But I can certainly appreciate beauty in people. And that's all shapes, sizes, colors, everything. Everybody has different preferences and enjoyments. And I am sexually attracted to men, but I can absolutely appreciate a beautiful, what I consider a beautiful body, which is generally a lot of the energy you're putting out, not just the physical aspect, but I can appreciate the physical aspect. And it's taking the time to admire that, to admire someone who's put some effort into how they are, or they haven't and they're just naturally beauty, or whatever you see in front of you. Not turning it into a sexual thing, but just admiring someone's beauty without it being creepy. Don't be creepy. Do not be creepy. But just admiring any kind of beauty, anything that you see, and taking the time. You know, sometimes it's easy to just go by something. I know when I lived in Tampa, Florida, there was a time, I actually live in Indian Rocks Beach, but it's Tampa's our nearest airport and big city. And there were times when I worked in Tampa, and it wouldn't matter if I drove over, there's 3 bridges, and I would drive over this one bridge. It's 7 miles long, and it's just over all this water all over the bay, and it never got old. It never got old. I always looked at the water when I drove over. It didn't matter if it was raining, if it was cloudy, if it was sunny. I never got tired of looking at that water, and I just absolutely loved it. But it's so easy to get used to that, right? Oh yeah, I see that every day, that you don't glance over and look at it in someone else's eyes, and maybe they've never seen it, and being able to appreciate that beauty. And so again, the more you focus on these things, the more you take the time to do these little things that are easy. It's easy to spark joy in things like this. It's not easy when you're trying to meet someone, to be able to spark joy when you're um, thinking about not having anyone, or thinking about the problems in your life, and how it would be better if they were better. Because sometimes even thinking about the thing you're struggling with being in a better place, it still brings you back to the fact that it's not. So taking the time to spend on these little things, because it doesn't matter what you're focusing on. If you're emitting energy of joy, you will get back things that match that energy that you put out, and those will be the things that you want. So the last one I have is to spread it. Spread the joy. Be part of spreading it. Sometimes you don't know, like I think of when you guys send me notes or leave me comments or send me emails when I am missing, or even when I'm not, even if it's just on a video that really touched you. And I don't always respond. I'm not, sometimes, most of the time I want to wait till I'm on my laptop, because I want to properly type out a response, or I'm not available to sit. I'm not on my phone a lot. I don't sit there and type on my phone if I'm out or if I'm with people. So I always want to wait till I get my laptop, and then sometimes I forget, or whatever reason. I can't reply to everything, but you might not realize when you leave a message, for me, how it affected me, how I woke up in the morning and saw that, and I had been a little sad, and it just completely brightened my day, or how I've thought of it 10 more times since the first time I read it, and it's just brought a smile to my face every time. And so spreading that joy, say you are walking by someone and you smile at them, and not everybody likes that, and I live in Mexico, and that's not really a thing. I mean, people are very friendly, but you don't have to do the fake smile to everybody all the time. But when it's real. I'm not asking you to go around and fake smile or fake compliment people. But anytime you can stop and have a conversation with someone, maybe who's not getting many conversations, or just being kinder, sometimes you won't even know that it's making a difference, but know that it is. It is. I remember too a time I was stopped at a stop sign in Florida, and this old man was taking a left where I was going to take a right, and as he turned his car by me, he looked right at me and smiled, and he popped his teeth out. And so then he just had this big gummy smile. Like his teeth, he popped them out, and they popped out of his mouth, like I guess onto his lap. And he just smiled, and it was so funny. I about died in the car, and it's still, I can think about it today, and that was probably 8 years ago that happened. But I could still think about it, and it cracks me the hell up. And so spreading a little joy to other people makes a difference. It makes a big difference in their life. It makes a difference in your life, knowing that you have that ability. And it makes a difference collectively, because if you're making people smile and think better thoughts than they were a minute ago, that's going to change the energy of everyone around you, and they will in turn do the same. And so it's kind of a big deal. So those are my 5 things. I hope that these help you. I hope that you are able to find joy in things, maybe not always the big things. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's hard to find joy. So don't feel like you have to go big. You can go small and work your way up, no problem. I miss you guys. I've got a lot of videos lined up. I feel like something always comes up. My kids are about to come for the summer, so there's always going to be something. But I'm gonna try to keep posting videos. If you like this video, and if you feel a little different, if you feel like your energy's a little different, if you're vibing high right now, I have workbooks and books that I've written, and they are super helpful in shifting your vibration, which is what just happened when you watched this and you felt better. They're linked below. Check them out. There's all kinds of different stuff for different things you might be going through, or just a general well-being workbook. Anyway, that's all I have. I love you guys, and if nobody has told you today, like I said, I love you very, very much, and I hope you have a great week.